Welcome to On the Line With. I'm your host, Hanley. On the Line With is an arts podcast with a deep dive on mental health, substance abuse, and many social issues and causes at the forefront of our society. Join me every second Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern as I sit with various guests to discuss their art, personal stories, and inspiration from behind the microphone. You'll be on the line with me, Hanley, every second Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you. Welcome back to On the Line With episode 7, season 2. I'm here with a very special guest. I'm going to let him introduce himself. So go ahead, my dude, and introduce yourself for everybody and let them know who you are.
What's good, party people? This is Masta Ace from Brooklyn, New York City, checking in.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you being on the show. Again, this is your host, Hanley. I just wanted to start off with the basics. When did you start making your music? Like, how old were you when you first put out a record?
Oh, man, I didn't put out a record until I was out of college. I was 21 or something like that when Symphony came out.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't start doing any music professionally until 1988 when the Symphony came out. I mean, I was in the studio maybe 2 years before that, 86, 87, working on demos, but certainly there was no promise or guarantee that anything was going to actually come out, commercially. I hoped, but I didn't know. The Symphony and that album, Mall in Control, were my first releases.
Right. No. And what inspired that release?
I just got fortunate. I was in the right place at the right time. I had won a contest a couple of years before that, a rap contest, and I got a chance to. Well, the first prize was 6 hours of studio time with Marley Marl, who was a very established and well-known producer in New York City.
Especially at that time.
At that time, yeah, he had already done music with Biz Markie, MC Shan, Roxanne Shante.
R.I.P. Biz.
Rest in peace, Biz. And so, I was in college at the time, and I was trying to get my degree, and I really just wanted to make sure that I got my 6 hours of studio time. I didn't know what that would lead to, but it ended up leading to building a relationship with Marley beyond the 6 hours, where he asked me to keep coming back and recording. So after the 6 hours, I was still coming back to his studio, recording music. And the same year that I graduated from college, he asked me to be on his album, on Mall in Control.
Right. And how'd that feel? Just getting out of college, how'd that feel?
I mean, it was a little weird because my mom didn't really understand, me pursuing this, it was really just a dream. It was a pipe dream. It wasn't anything that you could really hang your hat on, that there was going to be a guarantee. Oh yeah, if he goes this route, he's going to be a big success. Everybody's going to know his name. There was no guarantee of that. So my mom really wanted me to focus on getting a job. I had this degree. She wanted me to work on my resume and start trying to find a job in the field that I had gone to college to and learned and studied.
What was that? What did you go to college for?
I was a marketing major, and I had a minor in advertising. And my goal was to get a job at an advertising agency so that I could write some really cool, funny commercials for TV. I kind of really saw myself being one of the people that, wrote the funny beer commercials and stuff like that. So that's what I thought was going to happen.
Okay, that's interesting. Never knew that. That's cool. And after that, what comes after that? After
his album came out, Mall in Control, of course, I was on the lead single, the main single, which was the Symphony, and they shot a video for it. And once that video came out, my name was flashed across the bottom of the screen as I walked into that saloon in the Western scene. And once that happened, I became an established artist where people knew who I was. They could put a name with a face, and all of a sudden I was somewhat of a commodity. So the label, I'm sure, looked at it like, well, we've now promoted this guy who we don't have signed because we put him in this video. We put his name on the screen. We put his face on the screen. It's only right that we be the ones to put out his first album and see if we can make some money on this kid. So I got a record deal probably the following year, and my first album came out in 1990.
Right, and who did you first sign with?
Cold Chillin' Records. Same label as Biz Markie, MC Shan, Big Daddy Kane, Cool G Rap, Roxanne Shante.
So all the legends.
All the Juice Crew legends, yes.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I just like hearing the name Biz Markie, like we've talked about it so much over the past few weeks. Like just thinking of his music and how it like inspired me as a young kid when I was making music with my friends and stuff. He was just that character, you know?
Right.
So even still now knowing that he's gone, it's crazy. So his stuff's been on my Spotify playlist nonstop for the last month or so.
As it should.
Oh, I always. As you are, my friend. Like I told you, I've always been a fan.
I appreciate it.
Well, of course. And after the first album, what came for you next?
After the first album, I was in the studio working on my second album, and then there was a shift in the company. Their distributor, which is Warner Brothers Records, sort of gave them an ultimatum that they had to pretty much cut the roster in half and get rid of a bunch of artists. I was one of the artists that was on the chopping block, and so my manager started looking for a new home for me, and he found a home out in Los Angeles with a label called Delicious Vinyl Records, which at the time was the home of Tone Loc and Young MC. They both had platinum records with Delicious Vinyl. The label had interest in me, and I wound up signing with them in 92, 93, early 93.
And how'd you like that experience with them?
I mean, it took a while to get adjusted because they were all the way out on the West Coast. I'm all the way out in New York on the East Coast working on my album, and I didn't even really meet anybody from the label until halfway through the record when my A&R flew out to meet me in the studio for the first time. And, he got to hear the music I was working on, and they released that first album. I was involved in kind of helping put together the marketing plan. They took my input with the marketing and promotions, and that album came out to I would say an underground sort of cult following of fans that developed over the years.
Okay.
It wasn't like a commercial record. It wasn't a record that was on the radio. I had no songs on the radio, none of that. But it definitely solidified me with a certain group of hip hop heads that were into that particular sound that I was doing.
Okay. So what was the name of that label again? I missed it.
Oh,
Delicious Vinyls?
Delicious Vinyl, yeah.
All right. And so let's think about music then for a second and music now. What do you find? Obviously, so much has changed in the genre, but personally, what do you find that you do you have something you like more in this era than you did back then, or do you have something you dislike more in this era than you did back then?
The only things that are cool for me about this era in terms of recording and making records is the convenience and ease. There's been a lot of obviously technological advances in sound recording that allow you to do things faster and easier. Pro Tools was probably the biggest thing that came into play for today's music. Being able to, if you record a take of an artist, or you record a take of your vocals of your verse, and you decide you don't really like it, you can just delete it with the push of two buttons and record it again. And then you get down to take 20, and then you say, you know what? That first take was really the best take. There's actually a way to go back and find that. Whereas back in the day, if you erase something, there was no second takes unless you put it on another track. You couldn't save a take unless you put it on another track and literally saved it to the tape. And so if you recorded over that same track, that vocal was gone forever, and there's no bringing it back. And so some of those kinds of advancements have been positive, I think, for the music. Being able to record from just a laptop and a microphone. Those are all cool advancements because they allow for the ease of doing features with people. You don't have to, if somebody's in Texas or in, the other side of the world, in Germany, and they wanted to get a verse from me. In the past, I would have had to go and book a studio, at $45 an hour, engineer. They'd have to pay the studio all this money, and however long I took, that would either come out of my money or they would pay for it straight up. But now I don't have to leave the comfort of my own home. I got my microphone, I got my recording interface, and I got my laptop, and that's all I need. And I can record my verse and email it in 2 days. They can start mixing their record. And
yeah,
so
it's definitely. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say those advances have been probably the biggest positives.
Yeah, I'd agree, but I was thinking a lot of people have that answer because it is true. It is easier to work with your peers around you now than it was back in the 90s, late 80s. Even like early 2000s, people were still getting used to the new programs and software and stuff, but with what's come out today, it's so much easier to work with someone on the other side of the world than it was just 20 years ago.
Correct. Now, what you do lose in the process is you lose some of that vibing, that in-studio vibing, where you're in the room with each other and you talk, and potentially you might be able to come up with other ideas for the song or other little ad libs or cool things that you can bounce off of each other. Like some of that in studio vibing is lost with today's technology, and some of that vibing can actually lead to a better song.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Actually, I didn't look at it that way until you mentioned it, because I'm just so used to the technology being there.
Yeah.
And people using it for a free-for-all. So obviously then you found it much harder in the 90s than it is now. Now it's just like you said, like a click of a button.
Yeah, but then they have their disadvantages nowadays now too, because of the ease of being able to record, like just in your bedroom or in your basement. There's 10, 20 times more artists trying to put music out. So the marketplace is over-flooded, oversaturated with music, Bandcamp, and this platform, that platform. Everybody's just dropping music. Like there's some kids out there drop a new song a day.
Yep.
And the marketplace gets so flooded that the fans can't possibly absorb it all. So they gotta kind of figure out what they're gonna really give time to, and everything else gets kind of put on the back burner, never gets heard, never gets listened to.
And that's what I think creates that big hater culture now too.
Maybe.
Like there's just so much stuff that people, they don't like it, they're just gonna hate on it so it gets out of their way. You know what I mean? But it never leaves. It's always there.
Always there.
And so just a random question off the top. Do you have a track of yours that you have a favorite track of your own?
I don't have one favorite. It's easier for me to pick a favorite from each album than to just pick one overall favorite. Each album there's a couple of, obviously like all the music because I put the record out, but
of course
there's usually one song or one or two songs on each album that stand out to me as like I really like. There was a certain feeling when I recorded this, or something about what the song is about, or maybe just the beat or something about it that gives me positive feelings and positive memories. So it would be easier for me to say a favorite song from each album than just one song from my entire career.
All right, fair enough. And I saw on your Instagram you had I think the T-shirt said "Mental health is health."
I think it said because I got it from an artist named Jay Bear. he gave it to me a little while back, and I told him I would rock it, and in something, and I finally found the right opportunity to rock it, so I rocked it in the video for a song called E07 I'm featuring on, but the song is actually by an artist from the UK called Tremendous. What's good, y'all? This is Masta Ace, and this song right here is called E07. It's Tremendous, featuring myself. Enjoy.
God fear. Fuck your God, I'm fucking God here. Huh? You possess the same traits as the woman you came out of. Explains why you speak with your mother's tongue. When they try to disrespect you or your culture, you turn vulture in patois. Speak in your mother tongue. Yeah, it's only God you serve, so their validation stays invalid. No, you don't mess with these brothers like your mother's son. Don't get too close, keep it cordial like elderflower. And on Sundays you bring flowers to your elders. Go and give it to your mother's mum. You turn up late every time to the turn up with gin and tonic and your mother's rum. Overseas you were birthed by a queen, but over here they don't give a fuck where your mother's from. Hands up, nigga. Better go hammer, bet it won't jam when video cam flicker. And yeah, I know you people, they can't stand me. If things get out of hand, cut off your hands and say you weren't driving on hands free. But now you can, your hands free. Just throwing up these character descriptions like I'm Stan Lee. Cut, black if you move, that's my plan A. So anything you wanted to achieve, turn that shit to plan B. By default, I don't like you. Your childhood is mine, and tell your parents that their adulthood is mine too. FedEx swarm, won't say shit in front of red dots. This ain't no fucking TEDx talk.
Snap it so they know it's real. Open casket so the world reveals. Imagine how your parents feel. R.I.P. to all my Emmett Tills. Snap it so they know it's real. Open casket so the world reveals. Imagine how your parents feel. R.I.P. to all my Emmett Tills.
Mr. Officer, if I had the virus, I would call for sure. That's my only recourse. Land I should divorce because of the hell that I call from you. Don't matter if I know my rights, right? Cause we still be losing all them fights, right? Your heart's blacker than the Harlem Nights, right? And I knew I was in danger the first second I saw them lights. You only serve and protecting your own, and I was only a second from home. A left turn in a couple blocks. You let off more than a couple shots. I was just reaching for my registration, and then you reach without hesitation. And now there's no turning back. Why is everything turning black? He said, prayer hand emojis, God bless the dead. All our soldiers are in jail, all the rest are dead. Guess they trying to kill a threat before it can form. One day there will come a historical storm. We just waiting for the right time. I just hope it happens in our lifetime. And they can see how these limits feel. This is for the soul of Emmett Till, for real.
Snap it so they know it's real. Open casket so the world reveals. Imagine how your parents feel. R.I.P. to all my Emmett Tills. Snap it so they know it's real. Open casket so the world reveals. Imagine how your parents feel. R.I.P. to all my Emmett Tills.
You're woke and I'm never tired. I guess we both resist arrest. I suggest you don't resist arrest unless you seek your death. Greet oppressed with beef and heat invest. I'll be discreet instead. On a calm day, pull up in you and your cute fiance. Or maybe I'll just wait until your I do's. Or maybe I'll just wait until you fall asleep in drive-thrus. Or maybe I'll just wait until you're en route to that party. Or maybe I'll just wait until you're walking home from school. Or maybe we'll surround you while you're playing by the pool. Or maybe I just found you like that. Or maybe I just tamper with the footage so it looks like I found you like that. Maybe I'm possessive, can't pull it once, you know I'm extra, so I have to shoot excessive to make sure your indentation outlines the leather and the sweat ring your baby mom's expecting, but the baby of your mother wasn't expecting to get flipped in his ride. Fuck justice, fuck all your marches and petitions you sign. Those peaceful protests haven't given me peace of mind, so I still pull up with the peace of your mind. I don't God fear, fuck your God, I'm fucking God here. Madness in your circle, disadvantage. Because you're half white, you should have married Virgil. The only ones harmed, knowing damn well we were the only ones armed. Or maybe I lied, and maybe you cried. Innocent, while I planted something hot in your lap. And maybe she tried, or maybe we bribed. Some eyewitnesses go away when there's cash. Paid protection, paid suspension. Some colleagues do their job right, but only ones they always fail to mention. Stand up, don't bother, chokehold on arrest, and you too will be a goner. What's a palaver, swallow shots like you Jaeger. The same ones you call on when you need a savior. The system has and always will be rigged in my favor, so I'm going on a cruise now. Later, later, later. The system has and always will be rigged in my favor. Huh?
Snapping so they know it's real. Open casket so the world reveals. Imagine how your parents feel. R.I.P. to all my imbeciles. Snapping so they know it's real. Open casket so the world reveals. Imagine how your parents feel. R.I.P. to all my imbeciles.
The shirt says mental health matters.
Oh, mental health matters. Okay.
Yeah.
And are you yourself a big advocate for mental health?
I don't know if advocate is the right word, but I certainly support the cause and the trying to remove the stigma of it. I grew up in a household where, you know, I believe, and I don't know this hasn't been diagnosed or anything, but I believe that one of my uncles had mental health issues. To this day still does. But back in the days, nobody really addressed that stuff. It all kind of just got ignored, and you just kind of excused it away. And perhaps if he had had some sort of treatment when he was younger, he would have become a more functioning adult. I mean, he is functioning. He goes to work every day and everything like that, but there are aspects of his personality that don't align with, you know, normal behavior. And so for that reason, you know, I felt, you know, wearing the shirt was a good opportunity just to create conversation and dialogue among people that would see the video.
Yeah, definitely. As a fan and as an advocate for mental health, having a couple of mental illnesses myself, I saw the T-shirt and I was happy to see that one of my all-time MCs was rocking a shirt like that. So shout out to you for doing that. Definitely.
Absolutely.
And what do you think can help break that stigma that's still surrounding it? Because that stigma's strong. It's been there a long time. I mean, like you said, we didn't diagnose these things back in the days as much as we do now.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of what made the problem larger than what it should be.
Right.
But what do you think could stop that stigma?
I just think education of people, because the average person probably has somebody in their immediate family who suffers from some form of mental health issues.
Yep.
And I think education, you know, some forums, maybe some workshops, things of that nature. But people have to want to be interested in it too. You can't force people to, you know, take accountability and learn about mental health issues. And most people, some of the people that suffer from things, they're not willing to admit that they do. They won't own it. They won't accept it. They will fight to the end that they're fine. And obviously all of that plays a role. But I think the best way to remove the stigma is just education and workshops and dialogue. And hopefully, those kind of things can continue to happen.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, that video, you said that video, you wore that shirt in a music video for someone else. Who was that artist you said?
Who I was wearing the shirt for?
Or who the shirt's from, and who you were wearing it in the music video? Like,
Okay,
what was it?
yeah.
What was the music video? Who was it by?
The shirt was given to me by an artist named Jay Bear, Bair. He is here he's in the U.S. He's out in I believe he's in Ohio, not Ohio, Pennsylvania, I believe. Yeah, Pennsylvania. And you can find him on IG, J Bear. I think it's J Bear Pics or J_Bear or something like that, Bair.
I'll look into it.
And the video is a song called Emmett Till, and it's the song by Tremendous, True Mendes, and she's a female artist from London, and she's been around for a while out there doing her thing. And we shot a video for it, and I wore the shirt.
Okay, all right. And me being from Canada, I'm from Ottawa originally. I know Spittin' Image, who just dropped his Arrival album.
Yeah, I'm on that album.
Yeah, no, I know. A couple days ago, I was getting to that, but how was it working with Spittin' on that track? The game of hip hop.
Yeah, again, because of modern technology, I can collaborate with an artist like that who lives nowhere near where I am. Just through the advancements of technology. He sent me the beat. He emailed me the beat. I listened to the beat. I wrote my rhyme. I loaded it in Pro Tools, plugged in my mic, spit my verse, emailed my verse back to him. Like, it's just that simple. And we haven't really broke bread or anything like that yet. But I'm sure down the road when touring gets back to normal, I'm sure I'll be out that way. And get a chance to meet him and chop it up with him and, talk to him properly.
Yeah, Spittin's a very very good guy, man. He's a very humble dude, and he really puts his heart into everything he does. So you and Wordsworth were both great on that album. I gotta give you both respect for those verses you put on that album. Definitely sounded like you both and Spittin' had a fairly decent chemistry, even though you guys aren't in the same area or spot, like you said. But it seems like you guys fed off each other a little bit.
Yeah, chemistry is always a tricky word to use when you're not actually working with the person directly, where it's just, it's through the mail. So it's hard to really get true chemistry that way, but it's good that the music sounds cohesive and that it makes sense, that what we did together made sense. It sounded like it belonged together. That's important, and that's the job of the artists that are featured is to make sure that whatever they do fits what's going on.
Right. And when you say fits what's going on, what do you mean? Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, if an artist sends you his song with the beat and he's got his verse on there, you gotta take your time and listen to what he's rapping about, and make sure that whatever you put down goes with what he did. If he's rapping about mental illness, you don't want to get on there and start rapping about having sex with girls. Like, it needs to match. It needs to make sense.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I see what you mean now. So this has been episode 7 of season 2, featuring Masta Ace. I'm your host, Hanley. I just want to thank Masta Ace for joining me. It's been in the works. I'm finally bringing it to y'all. I know everybody's been waiting for it, so here you go. To all my listeners, I hope you enjoyed. To the new ones, I hope you enjoy and tune in next week. And hope to see you again. Masta Ace, go ahead and leave your links for the people.
Absolutely. You can catch me on Twitter at Masta Ace, MastaAce, and Masta Ace Official on Facebook. Oh, and my website to get all your merch and your music. We got vinyl, we got CDs, we got cassettes, we got hats, we got shirts, we got hoodies, socks, you name it. Just go to the website, masterace.com, and pick up something today.
All right, my dude, I appreciate it, man.
Same here, brother. Thanks.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man. Peace.
Peace.
All right, y'all. Now, another joint that I've been working on in my off time. This joint is called Home in America. It's the Analog Player Society featuring myself.
It's getting late, man, I wanna go home. Ain't no time for debate, man, I wanna go home. My mind's in a state, man, I wanna go home. I'm feeling closed in, and I wanna go roam. Through the cotton fields, and tobacco plants. Got a fire burning in me like a jack-o'-lantern. And look over your shoulders, honey. My group was looking at you like you owe them money. Reparations, conversations. Damn, 40 acres takes a lot of patience. Land of the free, home of the brave. Blood of the child, soul of the slave. Strange fruit, hanging from a poplar. Screams so loud, it's like he's singing in the opera. He wasn't guilty of the crime when they locked him up. Damn shame, he could've been a doctor, bruh. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, but the fact remains, you'll always be a threat when you're black with brains. They'd rather see it on the pavement. This is mental enslavement. Listen to me. It's getting late, man, I wanna go home. Ain't no time for debate, man, I wanna go home. My mind's in the state, man, I wanna go home. I'm feeling closed in, and I wanna go roam. Through the Capitol, with a bunch of guys. Long guns on our shoulders and a bunch of knives. If the Capitol Police come to tame the black beast, how much you wanna bet we lose a bunch of lives? Is this democracy or hypocrisy? It ain't justice for all as far as I can see. It's justice for some. Proud boy clutching his gun is less threatening than the black man in touch with his son. It's sad, cause they look at me and they see a threat, and it just rolls like the mold on a chia pet. And it's all by design, do you see it yet? I could fight for this land, I could be a vet. It wouldn't matter one bit in the scheme of things. My equality was drowned in the sea of dreams. Land of the free, home of the slave. Screams of a child, blood on the grave. Feel safe and sound. Shouldn't feel like the world's trying to take you down. When the kid screams out, why I gotta be in the hood? Like a tree in the woods, does it make a sound? It's the place where justice lives. For every man, every woman, what they must have did was take the welcome mat and put a torch to it.